Welcome back, family. Here we are analyzing the Covrprice hot top 10 hot books.
Ooh.
There's 10 books. They're hot. They're the top ones. Based on whatever criteria Covrprice uses, I believe it's just sales and increase. It's a, sales, overall sales, increase in value. Whichever. I don't know.
That's all I can think of, too.
I think it's got to be driven by a combination of both, because a couple of these books have not changed at all in value, but they're still selling like hotcakes.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm ready to jump right into this list.
Real quick, I want to say, with how many Spider-Man books we've had in the past, month, 2 months, there's still 5 on this list, but it feels a lot less.
6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, yeah.
I had to think about that in advance, because I didn't look at the list today, because I didn't want to be caught so off guard. I wanted to look at it. When I look, I'm like, what the hell is that book doing up here?
Right. And
I had to do
at
some
number 1, no
real
less.
Yeah, exactly. And I had to do some real reaching on that one. So,
All right. Well, anyway, we got a handful of new titles, thankfully. It was getting a little stale there.
yeah, and a couple of them were independents, and honestly, neither one of them I got. And I'm like Mr. Independent, and I preach it all the time. And one of them came out 2 weeks ago, and I still missed that one. I don't know.
Well.
C'est la vie. So let's get started right into this. What do you think?
Yes, number 10.
Spider-Man India, number 1. And this is not the first appearance of Spider-Man India, correct?
It is in a U.S. comic.
Okay.
I believe he appeared in an Indian Marvel publication.
Okay, and this is from 2005, so we're already 18 years ago. Still, there's a second week or third week. He's been a character that's been in the top 10 since the Across the Spider-Verse came out.
Yeah.
He had a decent length role in the movie. Wasn't a main character, but definitely not one of the background 5,000 Spider-Men that we saw.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to see him in the next movie. I personally think that we will.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was good enough fan reaction to it.
Did you saw the movie?
Yeah.
I think that he owes a favor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's just my opinion
I could see that.
of it.
Yeah.
We got 9.8s just sold for $345.
Oof.
But a 9.6 sold the day after for $77.
Yeah,
So,
I'll go 9.6 and send it in again. See if I can get a 9.8.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's an aberration or not, because a 9.4 sold for $99, 9.2 sold for $110. The prices are all over the place on this, which definitely tells me do not overpay for this book.
No, yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna have random auctions. I bet that was a random auction that was $77.
Yeah, and I saw one actually last night that I was thinking about bidding on, that I fell asleep, and I just fell asleep at an early hour. It was Black Panther number 1, the original Black Panther number 1.
Okay.
In a 9.4, which is a nice grade for that book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're gonna look it up.
I'm trying to remember
That's the frog cover.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Robert Monroe.
Yes, absolutely. You pointed out there's a frog on the cover with it. I had never noticed it. I owe that comic.
Yeah. Okay. That's an old ass book for a 9.4, 77, I think.
Yep. Are you seeing a fair market value of a 9.4?
No, I was.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were actually typing. When I heard typing, I thought you were the man in the chair.
But Panther 1. What'd you say? 9.4?
Yep.
210.
It went for 160.
Oh, that's a good deal.
I think it was like 162.
That's about what a 9.2 goes for.
Actually, I see last recorded sale, 9.4, 162.
There you go.
That's what it went for. And what I thought was amazing on that was it shows that this is still a buyer's market, not a seller's market, which is why when it comes to something like Spider-Man India, I would be holding my wallet very, very tight until I got the buy that I wanted for this. You know,
Yeah.
and if you can't find the buy you want, then just take your money and buy it. There's 10 billion other comic books. If you don't, you're never going to own every one.
Unless you're Mile High Comics.
Yeah, but then you get to sell them for triple value.
Yeah.
So I think that this is definitely a bad time to buy this book. It's a cool cover. I'd love to have it in my collection someday, but I'm not buying it now.
I think it'll cool off.
No, I think everything Spider-Man related has to cool off at some point.
Give it a half year.
Yeah. Go to number 9. Transformers number 11. First appearance of Jetfire.
Do you know why this is hot?
No.
Okay. I only know because I read the first issue of what was it, Vision Rivals? What was that book that Robert Kirkman put out?
Couldn't tell you. Sorry. I'm useless.
Void Rivals. Void Rivals. It was a number 1 on Image last week, I think. And
yes.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So, in that, spoiler alert, these people crash land on a planet. They don't have any way to get off. They're warring peoples, but they decide to work together because they're like, all right, well, we're screwed if we don't work together. And they come up on this old ship. It looks millions of years old or whatever. And they give it just a little bit of juice from their reserves to see if they can read the black box equivalent of whatever's on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a transformer, and it goes, and it's Jetfire.
Ooh.
And he takes off.
Doesn't Marvel still have the rights?
No, it's with Skybound Image.
Wow.
So Void Rivals is kicking off a G.I. Joe Transformers shared universe.
I like that.
Yeah.
I guess that means that Marvel doesn't have the rights to G.I. Joe anymore either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they lost the rights to a lot of things. Conan.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
To making good movies.
Yeah, they lost the right to that too.
Hey. But yeah, so
Still better than the Flash.
So yeah, so that was a big reveal at the end of the issue, was Jetfire flying away. So
Okay.
it's purely potential and spec for this new series revival.
But it could be a way that Image in general starts to not have all these individual comic stories. They could start trying to merge them all into an Image universe.
Yeah, well, you have the massive verse, of that, and then there's what did he called it something? G.I. Joe
Venomverse. Spawnverse.
like Energon verse or something.
Okay. See, one of the things that I find about DC, all their characters, all their comic books, all interact with each other. Marvel, same thing. You have the Marvel universe. All comic books eventually do share the same universe. But Image, it seems like, ever since they were launched, it was a platform for artists to bring their own stories in, and they can still retain the rights and get their comic books published for a fee, of course.
Yeah.
But the one thing that Image and Boom and a lot of these other secondary independent companies lack is a continuity from one book to another, where you pick up and read one book, it makes you want to read another book from their company.
Yeah.
So this might be Image's way of, entering that foray, that arena, and I don't know how to say gain more credibility for their comics, but definitely take a step up towards the big two.
Yeah, I mean, okay. The secret's out. Void Rivals takes place in the new Energon universe. That's what Robert Kirkman calls it. And Kirkman, of course, did Invincible and Walking Dead and Firepower, and he's kind of a heavy hitter. So,
wow. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny is, let me see. I think no, it's not the one I got. Okay, sorry. Never mind. I saw that the 1 in 100 is on this list as well, and that's really going for a high price. But the 1 in 50 is not even making it to ratio price.
As in $50.
Yep. Because there's another one that I was watching last night and fell asleep, and it went for, I think, 43 for 1 in 50.
Wow.
I really wanted that one in my collection, but oops. So we got Transformers number 11 coming in. I see raw prices going for about $15 for a near mint.
That's not that bad.
And first appearance 9.8 sold on the 12th for $159. I don't know if that predates the news or not.
Well, when did that book come out? Void Rivals.
Last Wednesday.
And
That'd be the 21st, the 14th.
so that sale was before that reveal.
Yep. And since then, we've got a 9.6 selling for $125.
There you
so
go.
I have to assume that a 9.8 is going to be at least double that at $250. Yeah. Okay, it's wonderful that they're intertwining the universes, but I can't say that Jetfire is going to be a major character in that intertwining going forward.
So I'm kind of thinking it's going to be like a Bumblebee situation was for the movies. Maybe that's how the Jetfire will be for this universe.
Gotcha.
You know, the first guy you encounter, the first one you interact with, even though he's not Optimus Prime or Megatron, he's still going to have like that little like first appearance. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, I personally think that they use a lesser character just to make you go, because I mean, if it was a major character like Optimus or Starscream, I always thought it was unfair that the Decepticons had Starscream, and I never saw the Autobots having a flying unit. I'm like, why is it? Well, apparently they did. And I'm like, I used to watch this show, and I don't even remember this character. So,
yeah, I don't even know if was
or Jetfire. So,
so he was an Autobot. So he was a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I kind of looked at the colors and assumed he was one of the good guys because he's like red and white and blue. They try to go with like darker, meaner colors, but red, white, and blue. I mean, you can't have a bad guy with the color of a Cap's shield.
That's true.
So, I mean, Optimus is red, white, and blue. So, I don't see this as a great investment. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you find one for $10 or something, raw.
Yeah, I think you can still find this in back issue bins if you get lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
should we move on?
Absolutely.
Number 8, Spider-Verse Amazing Spider-Man number 2.
10.
Part 2. Sorry.
Yes, V2.
This is first appearance of Punk.
Yeah, Hobie
Brown.
I was going to say Hobie Brooks, but that'd be Hubie Brooks, and he was a baseball player.
There was also a Hubie Brown in the NBA for a long time.
So, okay.
Anyway, Hobie Brown, Spider-Punk, still on the list.
Yep. Well, I mean, it was a very interesting character in Into the Spider-Verse, but not one that I would want to buy right now. And
yeah.
I mean, I'm not running out and buying Spider-Punk books to read them either.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at $273 at fair market value for 9.8. $260. One just sold for $260. What, yesterday? That's high.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to $150, and everything calms down. Yeah. $150 to $160.
I'm sorry, it sounds like a broken record, but anything Spider-Verse, like, give it half a year.
Yeah, anything that's hot, it's hot for a reason. Wait till it gets cold.
Well, I guess, yeah, we could just...
we got a blue chipper coming in at number 7.
Ultimate Fallout number 4.
Yeah, blue chipper by everybody's standards here, which there are a ton of these books on the census. but it's still the first appearance of a major character that's been around for now 12 years. And, they got movies. He's going to be coming to live action. Definitely a book that if you ever have the opportunity, you want it put into your collection, but not right now. This book does have waves, and right now we're at a peak.
I'm looking up. All right.
Price.
Do you want to guess numbers here on the census of cover A, first print?
Cover A, first print. Wow. The total numbers are 9.8s.
However you want to do it.
I'm gonna say Blue Label. I'll bet there's at least 9,000 copies.
Just general universal.
Yep.
Add about 6,000 to that.
15,000.
15,220.
Okay, so I was right at least. But the thing is that this is not going to have a very high percentage of 9.8s. I'll say under 2,000 9.8s.
Almost 4,000.
Wow.
39.68.
A polybag book. And is that direct sale and newsstand combined, or just direct sale?
I think it's combined because I only see second print, and variant.
I think there is a newsstand to this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Or maybe there wasn't because it was a polybag.
No, I'm pretty sure there was because that was one of the first things that's one of the first examples of a newsstand and direct that I learned about when I got into comics.
Yeah, I'm looking at the variants right now on Covrprice, and there's the newsstand. Yep. What's a newsstand 9.8 sell for? 9.8 is 28.80. 9.6 sold for 11,000 in May.
Oof.
And nobody has sold a 9.8 since 2020 when it sold for 8,100. So one of those comes to market again. That's going to be probably about $20,000 or more.
Jeez.
Yeah. Look, I personally, I can't talk negative about the book. I own 2 copies myself. I have a 9.2 and a 9.4. But I couldn't, with those high numbers, justify spending the money on a 9.8. Just like I can't justify going out and spending the amount of money for any grade for an ASM 300 when there's like 42,000 copies of that on the census. So,
yeah. This book does have waves, but the waves are always high. The barrier of entry is high for this book.
yeah.
So, I guess if you really, really want it.
Look, if this is something that you want to add to your collection as a blue chipper, by all means, I'd wait a few months on this to try to get the next, to save a little bit of money, but you're going to be spending no matter what. Your best bet, in my opinion, is try to get a raw. Get a good company to clean and press it and send it in. But other than that, I can't advise people to go out and drop a couple $1,000s. Just, it's not negative. It's something that'll always have value. But dang, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's dang, man.
Coming in number 6, The Sickness. Number 1. This is a book that just came out a couple of weeks ago, and Captain Independent Comic Books here, did not get this book, and I don't even remember seeing it. Comes from Uncivilized Comics.
I think that's why. I've never heard of this company.
Yeah, but I go through on, maybe it wasn't even available through Previews Guide. I don't know. But I usually go through even the unpublisher, there's like other comics category, which scrolls forever. And that's another thing. Sometimes I start scrolling and I just give up after a while. And being as this is the letter S, I might have given up.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, we're looking at $25 for a raw. It just came out, and I'm assuming this is because this is optioned.
No,
it's just that it's that good.
it just caught fire for some reason. Yeah, I've done digging. I went to the publisher's site. It looks like a library, local library website.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much to it. I guess exclusivity. You know how last year or a couple years ago, freaking Animal Farm
Yep.
caught
Which they just came out with another series of.
just because. I mean, I'm sure it was good, but you know what I mean. Like there was nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that.
And it reminds, saying that, now that reminds me of other books along those lines. What was the one that was like Peter Pan's world, but from Captain Hook's point of view? There's one like, dang it.
Yeah.
But there have been other books like this. They have all tanked in value if they don't get optioned.
There was like that pirate lady one, pirate spelled with a Y.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
The Good Asian was another great book that came in. It was a great story and took the shot up. Even Stray Dogs.
At least Stray Dogs and Asians are backed by Image, and those both are optioned at least. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, these little indie ones, they catch fire and then they just burn out real quick.
But I mean, it could turn into something a few years from now, like Duel, which was from Bliss on Tap last year,
nice.
And just got optioned because it was a very good story, and it'll blow up. But where Bliss on Top is blown up to in price is where Sickness is already.
Bliss on Tap, Duel was hot when it came out.
They had a second printing and a third printing.
Yeah. And then it got real cool. And then Jim Comics on YouTube, like 3 weeks ago, said that he knew somebody in the industry that told him that they're working on it. So that's why that's heating up back up again.
Yeah, I got 2 copies of that, and one of them I gave away on New Comic Book Day. That was one of the independents they gave away. I only bought that because the book, the publisher's name was so cool.
Yeah.
Bliss on Tap. I'm like, that just reminds me of the Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, Devil's Advocate movie.
Oh.
So every one of these books that comes out along this line that shoots up super quickly comes down in price until it gets option used. So I don't see an issue 2. I think this might be a one shot. I don't know. But I'd hold off on this, and if you can pick one up for 10, wait for it to drop a little bit and get one for 10. That's not a bad deal. But I wouldn't be shooting for $18 to $21 for this.
What was the name of that animal one?
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm?
Was it an Animal Farm?
Animal Castle.
Oh, that's right. Animal Castle.
Yeah. All right.
As soon as you said it, the image of the book popped up in my head.
Yeah, the gold font and all that. Yeah. All right. So last recorded sale, 9.8, graded for $32. Of that.
I really should have sold mine.
I mean, I just wanted to look just to get an idea because we're talking about these, and that was a Blaze, still kind of an indie, but bigger than whatever this one is.
Yeah.
Although R.I.P. I think a Blaze is gone now, but
well, 2 things to keep in mind if this company is so small. 1, the quantity printed may be very low. 2, I don't know the quality of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be that finding a near mint 9.8 candidate in this one is hard to find. So I would not let this one drop off your radar. Put this in your little notepad to keep an eye out for. But I think that right this moment is not the right time to get this. I see this going up a little bit higher and then dropping back down again.
Yeah, I think so too. Right here is where we're going to take our break to thank our beautiful Patreon members, which I think we gained 1 or 2 more. So that's really cool. You'll see your name here right now. Coming in at number 5.
Void Rivals, number 1, the 1 in 100 variant.
Yes.
Now, 1 in 100s are very, very hard to predict. We got top weekly sale of $247. Shush. My phone wants me to pay attention to it. It's like the dogs. So
This is the book that Stinker Buns wanted so badly. This ratio, because it's by Daniel Warren Johnson.
okay, so we got a good artist, good cover, the highest ratio of a book that's really, really hot right now. Question is, will it hold value? That's the big question right now. It's probably going to go up a little higher because now that it's appearing on a hot list, everybody is seeing it, and it's going to drive the price up a little bit. But I just saw a 1 in 50 ratio sell for under ratio. And I like that one also. So as far as artwork.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one.
This is tough because, again, 1/100s have their own like set of rules or, criteria. They don't follow set trajectories like a lot of the other books do.
And this is a spoiler because Jetfire is right there on the cover. All the other covers, you have no idea. So that's an extra little perk, I would say.
But it's not a first appearance of Jetfire. It's a first appearance in Image Universe. So...
yeah, and it's a big reveal. Like, we didn't know before the book came out that Transformers was going to be as part of this. Or it was rumored,
Look, right now I think there's 2,200 stores in comic book stores in the United States. How many stores bought at least 100 copies to get one copy of this? You granted there are going to be some of these locations that bought 1,000 copies because they...
Midtown Comics or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. They buy, sell. So they'll have 10 copies of this. But there are going to be a lot of smaller stores that bought 20 copies of the Void Rivals #1 or 50 maybe to get to the 1 in 50 ratio. Didn't spend the extra money to lock into all those single issues. That's why 1/100s are so hard to predict.
Yeah.
I'm going to say off the top of my head, there's probably 1,500 copies of this.
I don't know.
Based on that $247, it all depends. It's not just the universes merging together. Is Void Rivals going to be a good story and be accepted? Because it doesn't matter how rare the cover is. If the story is not good and the comic is not in demand, the prices drop.
I'm going to guess that it will be good because of the track record of Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, and for what I hear, everybody's saying the story is great.
I really liked the first issue. I finished our back issue book club for this week, and I was like, I meant to read this, so I read it, and it was one of those books that kind of just goes by quick.
Cool.
You're just reading it, and it just happens to you. So I think it'll be around for a while. I don't know about the value of this book keeping, but of this cover keeping, but
yeah,
the story itself will be around, I believe.
And the last recorded sale of a no grade was $230. So it's good. It says no grade because there was no grade listed in the listing. Everybody assumes a book that just came out is in 9.8 condition. I don't know. I mean, to me, this could be another Mario version of 8 Billion Genies, where I say no and it goes up.
It's hard, man. It's hard. This is like one of the hardest types of things to predict, just because, like you said, like if the story keeps going and going, Daniel Warren Johnson has a cult following as well. I would wait, maybe just take a look at it, because I don't think it'll go up too much more right immediately. See what's happening if you really want it, and then.
To me, there's too many Silver Age books that I would dedicate $250 to first.
Me too, personally.
I mean, I would rather go get a 5.0 Avengers first appearance of M'Baku. So.
Yeah, you could. So. But if you're wanting this book, then. Yeah,
buy at your own discretion. We're not going to be held liable.
All the other picks and what we give, the advice, you can hold us liable.
No, you can't. Anyway. But you said. What do I know? I'm in a basement. Anyway.
Me too.
Coming in number 4, brand new book to the list.
Spider Boy.
Spider-Man number 7, Humberto Ramos' top secret spoiler, first appearance of Spider Boy.
Which, if you check out our Instagram, I met him.
Spider Boy?
Humberto Ramos.
With a lot of R's in your post, yes.
I had to,
Of course.
Super friendly. Signed my 1 in 25 Virgin variant, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, his handler was like, "Oh, it's the first time I've seen one of these in the wild." So cool.
Ah, and you brought it back to him.
Boom.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we said last week that this book has gone up. It's come back down. It seems to have plateaued. So if you want to add this book to your collection, provided that the character does stay as strong as it has been, it looks like it is about what it's going to be at, which is about $100 or so for a 9.8. Got 9.8. The last sale I see is 100. I see another one for 96.
It is cooling a little.
Yeah.
We were hovering in the 115s for a while.
Yes. And if you bought on the 115 and it's now down to 100, it's a $15 loss. It's what, about 18% drop. It's not terrible. The character shows up anywhere other than this, and it'll start shooting back up again. This is not a bad book to add to your collection at this price.
No. I think it's a good price, and if you really want to skimp, you can go for the cover A for $80. It looks like for a 9.8.
Oh,
So,
yes.
But you might as well get the first cover appearance while you're there.
That cover A is pretty nice though too.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
So coming in next on the list, what number are we up to?
Number 3, hanging on still.
Yes, we have Spider-Man 2099, issue number 1. First appearance of...
First solo title.
Yes, sorry. Not first appearance.
It's okay.
I'm looking at the
I keep doing that too.
Spider-Man 2099. So what do we have here as far as prices? What do we got? And why did I take my glasses off? Because I can't read this. I'm an old man. 186, 199, 155, 200, 209, 199. I see a 155 for a 9.8 that's sold on the 17th. So prices have cooled a bit here. Definitely getting it for under 200 now.
Oh yeah.
Whereas a couple weeks ago, it was a little bit higher. This is another book you want to wait another couple weeks on, at least a couple weeks, possibly a couple months.
Yes.
There's a lot of these. There really are. It's a foil cover.
Let's find out.
Yes. This is a foil cover, so it really shows those problems with the books. There are 9.9s as well. So that's a great thing because once there are 9.9s, it drives the price of the 9.8 lower. Because people now all of a sudden it's not the highest grade. A 9.8 becomes like a 9.6.
Wow. You want to take a guess at how many 9.9s there are?
Foil cover, I see 2,300, but no sales since 2022. They probably added a few since then. 15.
8.
Okay.
You're in the ballpark though. Do you want to take a guess at 9.8s?
2,800.
3,250.
Okay.
And then there's a total of 8,100 blue labels.
All right, so you're looking at about 25% ish. No, more like 30%, 35% are 9.8s.
That's a good ratio.
That's a good ratio for a newer book. Yeah, I mean, this book came out in 92.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking. November 1st, 1992. It's a foil cover, and it does have 9.9, so... you want to add this to your collection? Not now. Because he will be in the next movie. He will be a major character in the next movie. And I do not think that they're going to end him with the next movie.
Again, whatever you do, give it a month or two. Take the temperature. Take the temperature then.
Tune into our Remember Me's. We'll remind you when it's a good time to get this book.
There you go.
Coming in at number 2, we're almost to the top here. We have from Image Comics, Coyotes, number 1 from 2017. Now, I'm assuming that this is an optioned book.
This one is, yes. I had to do some research. It was just announced that Jordan Peele and
Ooh.
Selena Gomez are reportedly behind the TV series adaptation.
Oh, is Gomez going to be in it, or she's producing it?
I'm willing to bet she'll be in it, but that's
Okay.
all. I mean, what I read is all I have.
Peele does not sign himself up to stuff unless it does well. So that really makes me feel very optimistic about this. But if they're a TV series, even with that, with the writer strike and everything else, yes, the comic book is written, but you have to come up with a screenplay of a version that works well on film. This is not going to come out until late 2024, early 2025 at the best. This is a book that people are going to forget about. Now, I see 9.8s selling for $89 on June 14th for a 9.8.
Yeah.
If that's true, if you can get a copy for $90, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. If you can wait 6 months for everybody to forget about this book, you're probably going to pick it up for 50, 60.
Let's see what
The census is, and I will look up prior sales.
I'm looking on eBay. Yeah. There's not a lot on eBay. There was 13,000 copies ordered by retailers.
Okay. And I'm looking at 9.8 sales, and on June 13th, one sold for 70. On June 13th, one sold for 40. On April 18th, 2021, a 9.8 sold for $20.50.
This book is kind of a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the census here. There's 29 9/8s.
Wow. And you know what's funny is I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 sales on Covrprice. So they sold.
2 9/6s. How do you have 2 9/6s? That's so little. 2 9/4s, 1 9/2.
There were 2 9.4 sales, 1 9.6 sale.
Total of 34 universal, 2 qualified for some reason.
Probably they got them signed. They bought them at a show and had them signed
maybe.
and sent them in.
Yeah. 3 signature series for a total of 39. That's a ghost.
I think that number is going to shoot up. And there is a second print. Bear in mind that the first print has the word Coyotes with a blue background.
Mm-hmm.
And Coyote's second print is a red background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the way you like your banner at the bottom of the Marvel book. They do color code it, so don't accidentally buy a second print. Well, before I say don't buy a second print, let me see if it has any prices for the second print. No recorded sales, so
there are none in the sense. There is one signature series 9.8 second print. There's one book total graded by CGC of the second print.
Look, the fact that this sold well enough to order a second print back in 2017 when it came out is encouraging, but I would be looking through independent boxes right now and see if you could find this.
Yeah.
You might find this somewhere that people just completely forgot about.
Well, and it's not a particularly eye-catching cover. And I don't mean it's bad art. I just mean it's muted colors.
Yes, very drab as far as colors.
Yeah.
So it's a girl with red hair, arms crossed, kind of like Wednesday Addams sleeping pose with blood on her hands.
Yeah.
So, find it in the raw. That's cool. If you want to pick up a graded copy, even at $90, it's not terrible.
No.
But I'd wait a little bit because based on prior sales, I think this is going to drop back down before you see it on the screen.
I think so, 100%. Because if you look at like Noctera #1 and oh shoot, what was the other one? The one Jake Gyllenhaal is attached to. Some futuristic shit. It was the hot shit, back then, and that's going for like $30. So a 9.8. So I think my only hesitation with waiting is that there's so few.
Right, but there might be people pulling these out of their boxes and sending them in for grading.
Yeah, that might happen right now, and then 6 months, a year, there'll be like fuck, I need money. Here's $45, whatever.
But bear in mind, my personal feeling is that if this does have Jordan Peele attached to it, this is not going to turn into Paper Girls. This is going to turn into a quality TV series, and this book will have. It's not going to be The Walking Dead level, but it will definitely be better than Paper Girls level. So I think long term, 2 years, 3 years, we're looking at a really good investable book here. I think because it's on the hot list, it's not exactly the right time to buy it.
Yeah.
Let's jump to number 1, which is another Spider-Man book.
You may be asking yourself, how, if it's a She-Hulk?
And, by the way, thank you, Covrprice, for putting my girl on the list.
She-Hulk, number 3 from the 2004 run.
Mm-hmm.
And this is because the identity of Spider-Boy is Bailey Briggs, and both characters were created by Dan Slott. How this character fits into the Spider-Boy story that's currently running is unknown, which is why the issue is in the spec deck and not... Oh, okay. It could be a false name Spider-Boy is using as red herring. Both characters have red hair and seem to be the only similarity that they share.
Well, in reading the panels from the Spider-Verse book, he says, it's me, it's Bailey. It's me, it's Bailey. This is a spoiler. I'm sorry if you haven't read the book. But we're talking about investability. I got to let you know. And then he meets Aunt May. Aunt May says to him, "Oh, how are you doing, young man?" And he kind of like either mutters or thinks to himself, "Young man." Like, I'm not a young man. Even though he looks like Spider-Boy, he's actually an adult, or we're going to have to get more of an origin story to find out how. But he said, it's me, it's Bailey. Bailey Briggs. He says it very clearly. I'm Bailey Briggs.
Yeah,
So,
I mean...
the only other Bailey Briggs in Marvel, and they try not to reuse the same names, is the one from She-Hulk number 3.
Yeah.
The fact that it has just appeared on this list, and I didn't hear anything about this, I didn't know anything about this yesterday. I'm going to assume that a lot of people have not heard about this, or that, and this bandwagon is just starting to gain steam. I think by next week, this price is higher.
Let's see what eBay looks like.
And I'm going to look at recorded sales while you're doing that.
Ugh, it's hard to sift through all this bullshit.
A 9.6 sold yesterday for $100. Now, bear in mind that the 2004 run of She-Hulk probably didn't sell a ton of copies anyway. But as far as raw sales data, we've got $22.95, $22.95. But you go back a couple of days, $4.95, $4, $3.96. This is the best book for you to start. If you got like 6 comic stores in your neighborhood, you got a day off, go over there and start going through their books, their back issue bins. You're looking for the first appearance of the Transformers character and the first appearance and She-Hulk number 3.
And Coyote.
And Coyote, yes. This is a great list this week for going and searching those back issue bins. There's
one 10.0 of She-Hulk 3 on the census.
Jeez. Wow.
14 9/8s, 3 9/6s, and that's it.
I wonder what that person thought when he got back a 10.0 of a non-foil She-Hulk number 3. Like, great, man. Of all the books I get a 10.0 on, it's got to be this one?
Right.
Why couldn't it be my Ultimate Fallout number 4?
Now's his time to shine. Put it up there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're the person listening and you have that 10.0, you will never have a better time to sell that than right now. Yeah, this is your time to go. You sell that, you go buy a few 9.8s and a house.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
We're looking at about 25 bucks ish. Don't forget to include shipping.
Yeah.
For a raw. 9.8s, 9.6s. You're probably, God, I can't even tell because the quantities are so low. I don't even know if there's any on eBay. You're probably right this second looking for $250 for a 9.8. And I can't tell if this is going to go up or down. I really don't know. If this character becomes major and this turns out to be his first appearance, this book could skyrocket.
Yeah.
If the character A is not major, or if B, this is not the same Bailey Briggs, if this is an alternate reality Bailey Briggs and nobody cares about it, if this turns out to be like the other Spider Boy comic, BOI.
What does CGC do when they mark first appearance of on their labels and then it's actually not? It's revealed later in the run that it was actually before.
No, what are you talking about? Spider-Man number 7?
Yeah.
It is a first appearance of Spider-Boy.
Oh, that's true. They're not.
We're
one
talking
and the
about the
same.
first appearance of Bailey Briggs.
You're right. You're right.
Just like Spider-Man 14, first appearance of Green Goblin. Then later on, Spider-Man number 37 is the first appearance of Harry Osborn. Or Norman Osborn.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. Yeah.
I own the cheaper of the two, by the way. In a low grade, too, by the way. And I'll be honest, I bought that Norman Osborn years ago when it was on a Red Ocean, Blue Ocean list from Reggie Collects, which he said, this is a book that's going to go up in value. I think I got that for $35 or $40. Came back a decent grade, and I am so glad for other people having what we have is our Remember Me. Again, we gain nothing from it. We're just happy when we can say, look, this is the time to buy this book. And right now we're saying when is not the time to buy the book. We're just here for advisors, and when we're right, we feel so great about it because we feel like we've saved our viewers money where they can buy other books. God knows I have enough books here that I wish somebody had advised me better.
Me too.
So what do you think about She-Hulk number 3, though, as far as investability? It has two directions it can go, straight to the moon or straight to the basement.
It's weird because if you look at the panel in the book about Bailey Briggs, it's like he's like a mechanic. He's got a mustache and he's like an old-looking guy.
Right.
I would find it really hard to believe that that's Spider-Boy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But Bailey Briggs, like, it's not like Matt Smith. There's a million Matt Smiths, Bailey Briggs is a pretty specific name. So,
yeah.
And it's both Dan Slott as the writer. I don't know. This is hard.
It wouldn't be the first time that they've had an older version preceded or followed by a younger version. I'm thinking of like Cable. I'm thinking of anybody that's gone through the time travel. And the one thing I wonder is, and I do not say that Spider-Boy is going to be the next Miles Morales. For two reasons. Miles Morales has only been around since 2011. He's too new for them to obsolete him. And he's too new in the reader's minds to be replaced. But if Spider-Man, Miles Morales, came out in Ultimate Fallout 4, and it turned out that later on you found out that Miles Morales' first appearance was in a book 7 years earlier, what would that book be worth?
A lot.
So, based on that, is it worth speculating on picking up a raw on this book for $20?
Yeah, for $20, for sure.
Okay. I agree.
I don't know that I would try to get a 9.8, purchase a 9.8 because there's so few.
I think that you're going to be able to find enough people selling beautiful copies for $20, $25 that you can get a 9.8 on your own.
Especially with the screen now.
Yeah, and I think that there'll be enough. There'll be enough copies being submitted to CGC that you're going to find 9.8s very plentiful in about 2 months. Fast track, here we go.
That's true.
Ludicrous speed, go.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, so we've gone through our list. It's time for our favorite segment, Gun to Your Head.
I went first last time.
All right, well, I'm going to go first this time, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's very easy for me to pick. because I bought one today after
Oh.
seeing this list.
Okay.
She-Hulk number 3.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I bought the
Raw?
only raw copy off of eBay for $29.99.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was quick.
Yep. Because I was just curious what they were selling for, and I saw there was only one copy available, and the prices have been going up. And to my mind, I thought that the price, with this list coming out, this one not appearing on Comic Tom list, it will on next week's list. This book is going to be shooting up to 50, 60 within a week, in my opinion. We got a couple good candidates on this week's list, so.
Yeah. Gosh. My heart tells me Transformers 11. My brain is leaning towards She-Hulk 3. Because you made a really good point about that. If it came out that Miles had appeared prior, just as Miles, I still think it would have been a lot of money. And it's not a. Yeah, I'll go She-Hulk 3, just because the risk is not that bad yet. Get in now.
So since we both picked the same book on Gun to Your Head, we have to take a rubber band to our ass for the second pick.
All right, I'm going Transformers 11.
Actually, so am I. I don't think it's a high-priced book, and if this can open up an entire new universe, this becomes the defining book that did it. So, the Void Rivals is.
Yeah.
And this will be linked to Void Rivals number 1. So, I kind of like this book. I mean, my only other choice in this would be, based on print run, to still try to find a good copy of The Sickness number 1. But I'm not crazy on spending that kind of money on a brand new book if I don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Coyotes is good, too.
There you have it.
Yeah. Again, we've got a few books on this list that are making us go, things that make you go,
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm glad I'm able to just be like, nah, to so many of them, too.
Yes, absolutely. And most of the ones we're saying nah to are Spider-Man related.
Yeah, for the most part.
The one Spider-Man book that we both liked is She-Hulk, and that's not the Spider-Man book that's influenced by Across the Spider-Verse.
Right.
So, all right, guys, let's try to wrap this up. We want to thank you for joining us for our top 10 analysis of the Covrprice. And don't invite you to please check us out on Patreon. We have so many things going on there. Books be given away, advantages for $3 a month. This is an absolute bargain. We give away more than $3 a month to our members. Okay, we're just trying to build a community and have some fun. We had our live stream where, it was a get together, and even after we gave away the books, we continued talking for a while and getting to know each other. It's a good community. It's like getting together with your comic book buddies and hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, so just to give you an idea of some of the stuff that was pulled, I believe this is Stinker Buns' lot.
Yeah, he pulled some good books.
So he got this Dark Hawk, Spider-Man 238 homage.
Yep.
Freaking Spawn number 8, where it says, I love this. It says Todd McFarlane after me. Because a lot of times the artist will go like after McFarlane or whatever when they're homaging.
Yep.
And this is after his, Spider-Man 1. And an X-Force number 1.
Nice.
Whatever that is. So those are the kind of things you can win from the pull box. And
yes.
I think we decided that I'll ship every quarter. So it'll collect, 3 months at a time, and then I'll ship them off.
That sounds more than fair. Yes.
So, plus you get all the other bennies.
Additional picks for our Remember Me, advanced screenings of our back issue book club, watch parties along for many episodes. We've got Secret Invasion coming up. I'm so excited about that. 2 days from now.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
It's coming fast.
It's going to be a fun week, man. But check us out on Instagram at Team Ohana Family. We've got our podcast, as I just mentioned, for our Back Issue Book Club, which we're going to be recording right after we finish this. And that you can find on any streaming network under Team Ohana. What a novel idea. We have our Etsy page where you can find our T-shirts and our hats. There's so many things going on with us, and we would love to just see you join our family. So at the very least, please click like on the video, drop a comment down below. We want to hear what you think are great picks, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to add you to our family. Until we see you in the next video, mahalo.